This week on the bonus round, we're in Las Vegas at the PlayStation Experience, and I'm joined by Vice President of Publisher and Developer Relations, Adam Boyes, Editor-in-Chief of GameTrailers, Brandon Jones, and GT veteran, Michael Pachter. Hey guys, it's Jeff Keighley, and welcome to the bonus round. We are in Las Vegas at the PlayStation Experience. It's been an amazing weekend in Vegas. I'm a little tired. We just wrapped the Game Awards last night, but I am here. And we've got a special guest back on the bonus round for the first time in months, Michael Pachter.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you back, Pachter.
Pleasure to be here.
Pack Attack or Pachter Factor will return in 2015.
Or maybe Pack Attack, I don't know. Maybe just GameTrailers people are so nice, we might just have to do that.
Might have to go back. All right, stay tuned. And we've also got Brandon Jones from GameTrailers, the editor-in-chief. Great to have you with us. And
good to see you, Jeff.
Finally, a man who was on stage at the PlayStation Keynote, Adam Boyes from Sony. Guys, great to have all of you with us. So we are going to react to the news and announcements that just happened here at the press conference. So, Pachter, let me start with you. What was the highlight for you?
I think for me, it's just the number of really first-rate developers that are working on small games, and I think that just shows the shift in focus away from a 3-year, $50 million project to more bite-sized projects, and the reception from gamers of those games has been amazing. So I think we're finally seeing, probably with PlayStation, a merging of the free-to-play market and the super expensive console market, and I think that's pretty insightful that Sony is seeing that it's the same people, that people want a great game experience, and obviously we prefer them to be free. So, why not? And I'm impressed, I'm amazed at Sony being the leader here, because I really thought you guys had that $60 mindset.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's one thing I found even with the Game Awards. A lot of people online were like, oh, it's like, why are they indie games? Why aren't these, all AAA, blockbusters, billion-dollar franchises all getting announced? It's like a lot of the most interesting stuff right now is happening with smaller teams, and they may be established people, making smaller games, but it's like some of that stuff I'm really, I was excited. Like there's a game that we had called Before in the show, which is one guy that just made this beautiful game that looks so different. And it's like they're only, the big games, yes, Sony has Uncharted, yes, Sony has The Order, but it's like you don't necessarily need 12 or 15 of those a year, because also the business model doesn't support that anymore right now, to spend that kind of money. So I think it's a great point. It's great to see David Jaffe doing something different. Brandon Jones, what was your highlight?
Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah,
so great. For so many reasons, it was a genuine new game announcement.
Yes.
Was not anticipating it. A Grim Fandango was such a nice announcement that was like, oh, they put a lot of work into that.
Yeah.
That's a goal for Double Fine. That'll be really exciting for people to experience that again. But then just like Day of the Tentacle on top of that, my mind's racing. I'm like, oh my god,
And Adam's been trying to work that deal out for a long time.
It's a lot of road, long road, but a fruitful road at the end.
You and Johnny V worked it out. So.
Yeah, we did with Disney and obviously with Tim and their team. I'm super excited about that too. I mean, for me, it's just like goes back to all those feels I had back playing those games on PC.
But I think that's what people were anticipating. Like, I want to see a new title. You know, it's fun to see gameplay of all these things, these annual installments, sports games, Uncharted. But to get a new announcement that people were not even anticipating. Nobody, I mean, there's a lot of speculation leading up to this event. No one talked about Day of the Tentacle.
Nope.
That did not come
It wasn't on any list that I saw.
Now, Adam, for you, highlights. I know, obviously, Street Fighter, a big deal for you guys. Obviously, got leaked a little earlier than expected. So
that was.
These things happen.
But
still a huge deal.
What's that?
But still a huge deal for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Street Fighter 5, Ono-san, when I worked at Capcom, I got to work on Street Fighter HD Remix, my production team, and repainting those graphics back then, and having Street Fighter just such one of those wonderful things that I was looking back to. Being able to work with Ono-san, the whole dev team, to bring it over to PlayStation 4. And also, I think that cross-play with PC, I think that's going to bring the community together. I think in the past, fighting games are always tough because you have all these disparate groups. Having one cohesive group that can play together, I think is going to make the fighting game community really, really strong. No Man's Sky, that game is just, every time my heart palpitates. Sean Murray, when he gets on stage, I just want to hug him. Yeah. I give him a big hug backstage. I'm like, you did it, my man. But that game is just, it's so vast. We finally got to see the expanse of, like, it was, zooming back and you see the entire galaxy universe. It's like infinite. It's amazing. Day of the Tentacle was a huge highlight. There's so many things. Our team works Shovel Knight with Kratos and then Shuhei Yoshida in Super Time Force. I mean, I hope it comes across that we love this stuff. We just love
Wait, you're in a game, Packer.
Work with all these studios.
What's that?
You should be a guest character in a game.
Yeah.
You ever been in a game?
Yeah, I think that there's a character in Grand Theft Auto 4 that is patterned after me,
I got to replay that game now.
and I think he was raped from behind by several men, but yeah, I think it was me.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So a game we haven't talked about yet is Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Big demo, 15-minute demo to open the press conference with, some amazing new combat maneuvers. I love that kind of grappling hook of Nathan sliding around and whatnot. Uncharted going to be one of the biggest games of next year, right, Michael?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, again, because it's a PlayStation exclusive, that's going to keep it from being the top-selling game, because if you're multi-platform, you have a better shot.
Yeah.
But it's going to probably be the best-selling game on PlayStation. I think everybody who has one is oohing and ahhing and going, want to play that. And those guys do such great work. There's no question it's going to be a great game.
Right, and great story, and I'm really curious to see sort of where that's going to go. Brandon, what was your take on what you saw from Uncharted?
That foliage, man. It's so often. I just got done playing Far Cry, and like you're hiding a lot from guys, and I'll be like in a bush, and a guy doesn't see me, and it's like I would see me if I was in there, but he for real disappears in that foliage, and it's nice to see the realism. It's crazy to see him walk to an edge, an event, and walk to the edge of a cliff and just kind of do a pan of the environment and get applause. People are just like, I cannot believe the way that looks. So yeah, it looks great.
Adam, what's your thoughts on Uncharted?
Incredible. In the run-throughs, I didn't get to see the whole thing. So that old grapple moment, all that stuff was brand new to me. I was like, oh my God, that he just jumps on that guy. I'm like, it looks incredible. Naughty Dog, how can you beat them? These guys are just absolutely the most talented team. They're the best out there. And I love that we have that sort of third-party, first-party thing where we still surprise each other. Scott and I was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, wait and see to see all the stuff that they brought out. But that looked phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it's amazing what that team is doing. And the fact that we don't know much about the story is kind of cool. It's like you're seeing gameplay, and it looks
and
incredible.
And Tina reveals sort of at the end, right?
Right, exactly. I don't know if that's like a brother or what's that. We'll see. Stay tuned for more. Now let's talk about some of the other things that were inside of the press conference. Obviously, a lot of other games. When you look at like next year, Sony's. I think everyone would fully admit this year, PlayStation first party didn't have as many games people probably wanted, in the fourth quarter. Next year, a big year with The Order. We saw Until Dawn, obviously Uncharted. When you look at 2015. What are some of the highlights for you, you think? What do you think is going to drive the system for PlayStation?
I actually think it's the quantity of quality games.
Right.
Normally you expect kind of one game in the spring, one or two in the fall, and I'd say, what do you have, 6 big titles? Yeah. I think it's probably double what we've ever seen from any of the manufacturers. Yeah, and I don't know what Microsoft has planned, but I'd be willing to bet it's not this many. And so, that I'm surprised because I really thought that
based on the number of titles you saw from Xbox at the awards, it's probably
I thought the publishers wouldn't take the manufacturers wouldn't take the risk of developing for one console, and they're taking it, and that's important. Rhodey's done a phenomenal job. You've done a phenomenal job.
All around the world, I think 17 studios all making games, and you see a few of them, but there's a lot of them, a lot of people, super talented people making stuff all around the globe.
Yeah, you guys got your shit together early in the cycle. And that's where Nintendo right now is suffering because they still don't have the quantity of exclusives to drive the console. You guys had this plan clearly, and it's kind of peaking next year, and that's exactly when you want to be. So that's great. It's impressive.
Keep them number one.
Yeah, unless somebody just has a brain fart and you screw up, you're going to stay number one.
Thanks.
Positive words from Packer.
It's yours to lose. How's that?
Oh, great.
Congratulations.
Packer. Brandon, what's your take on some of the other things for 2015? What excites you from PlayStation?
What excites me is graphics, and it's actually something that at GameTrailers, glitches has come up a lot this year on consoles, and it's interesting to see, what system kind of has more glitches. Like sometimes, there was just rumors. I mean, I didn't really experience this firsthand because I kind of swapped back and forth between consoles, but there were rumors there were some games that didn't play as well on PlayStation 4. And The Order, and from what I saw from Uncharted, are like the best looking console games I've ever seen in my entire life. The Order is just bonkers how gorgeous that game is.
Beautiful.
So I'm interested to see kind of getting out of this season of these games that didn't necessarily perform as well as I imagine the developers wanted them to on consoles, and maybe the graphics comparison on these exclusives between the two consoles is going to come out.
Yeah, The Order visually looks incredible. I got to go play it, but I mean visually it looks really, really amazing. Adam, out of all the stuff in the show, today. What did you want the message to be to PlayStation Nation? I mean,
Well,
why did you put those games up there?
Yeah, I think the biggest message is like we've got something for everyone, right? We've got something that's really gonna either whether you're a fanboy of old PC games, adventure games, whether you want that big, massive blockbuster moment in your living room. What we really want to get, and the cool thing is when we were planning this whole event, we were like, well, we can announce this, we can announce, and all of a sudden the list got, and we just had a huge list of announcements at Gamescom, huge list of announcements at TGS at E3, and then as the bucket started filling, like we're at like 2 hours. This is crazy, and like literally at E3 we're gonna have a lot more stuff. So it's just the amount of stuff. I think the excitement that people have around different things, the fact that we can do a little bit for everyone. When Gio got up there and did the building list update. People are getting Yakuza 5 for PS3, Suikoden for 1 and 2 for Vita. I mean, that's the stuff that they're asking about a lot. So we continue to sort of go through and try to find a little bit of something for everyone.
Awesome. Well, we're really excited to see where you guys go in 2015. I'm sure. Is there anything you would have liked to have seen Sony do today that they didn't do, Mike?
I'm actually surprised it's taking so long to cut the price of the PS3, because I think that's still a viable platform, and I think that people who, because think of all the 6-year-olds who got a Wii in 2006 or 2008, who are now 14 or 16. If their first next-gen console is a PlayStation, if it's a PS3 at $149 or $199, I think they're far more likely to trade up to a PS4. And I really thought Sony would have done that by now.
How much is PS3 now?
It's stuck at $249.
Okay.
And selling fine, but I mean, there's just a lot of people who don't have that much money. Cut it to $199. I thought it would happen before Christmas, and it just hasn't. And again, you have such a huge library of great games. That's the audience you can sell PlayStation Now to, PlayStation TV to. So it seems to me you want to kind of get people hooked on PlayStation and that experience, so that you can get them as they age up.
Brandon, anything for you that you were hoping to see today that you didn't see?
I mean, you got to put Last Guardian out there. I don't think you can even have a conversation about it. You can just literally say those 3 words and then move on.
Was that 2006 E3 or 2007?
I don't even know. I lost count. I don't even count that high.
Long time ago.
I think it was 8 or 9, but it's been a while.
Again, it's a dead issue. But I'm actually looking, and I know both of you were huge big fans. Lots of No Man's Sky last night at the Game Awards. Lots of No Man's Sky today. I'm looking for something else from that game. The game reminds me of kind of what I do when I'm done playing another game as well. Just like, just roam around a little bit and have fun. I'm just waiting for like at the very end of the demo, he gets out of the ship, and I'm like, pick something up. Do something.
Well, and I think
there, are you gonna
kill something.
Are you gonna hunt it?
No. Well, one thing I think Sean's talked about, so I'm not giving it away, but I mean there is interaction, and the idea that I think at one point people saw like a little transponder. I mean there is interaction in the world and how you interact with other players. They're being very mysterious about that, and I agree. It's like you're flying around, it's beautiful, but there's definitely gameplay there. But I think they're being cautious.
So, I think that last trailer. I think the getting in the ship, taking off, flying to someplace else. They're done. They need the next whatever happens next with No Man's Sky.
Actually, the other thing is like you saw on foot. Which like a lot of what we've been seeing is just them flying around. Now you're like, no, you explore, like you get in your ship, get out. No, it's that's going to be a very special game when they finish it. Adam, for you, is there anything that I'm sure the things you want there you can't tell us?
Yeah, no, I mean the thing that's always hard about these things, we announce the event and then all of a sudden the hype train choo-choo starts.
Why you say for the awards?
And so the most frustrating thing is like the team worked so hard to put this whole thing together, and I'm so proud of everything that we did. And at the end, you said like, you announced this, so it's the worst show ever, man. And you're just like, I don't even know.
Well, it is the hype train because I get for the awards too. You get this list of like the 13 games that me as a gamer.
It piles on. I mean, I think like the first GAF forum before it got shut down, over 2 million views, and it was just like every game ever made. And I'm like, and then they're like, it's gonna be huge. Just
or games that aren't even in production that people just wish they would happen. And it's like I would love to see Game X or Game Y. I don't think it's even being made.
Well, especially I think nowadays we live in a world where I think back in the day, you look 10 years ago, you could announce a game 3, 4, 5 years out, but nowadays people want that stuff now. So what we're seeing is a shorter time frame on a lot of games of like announced to release because people get tired. Like I've seen this before. I mean, even No Man's Sky, you guys revealed it a year ago. It still doesn't come out till next year, and people are already like, nah, I want to see more. I'm like, simmer down, bro. Like it's going to come over time, and when it comes out, I think there'll be a lot of excitement. So that's always my thing, and you know that. The list is always growing for us of like what we're going to aim for E3 and the next show, and so the work never stops. I'm literally last night at dinner, and I'm like, what we do for E3 is do this and do that. Like just take a breather, right? Enjoy the weekend with all these great fans.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, great hanging with you in the bonus round. We'll be back with more bonus round from the PlayStation Experience next week right here on GT.